Well, hey there and welcome. Welcome everybody to today's workshop, Irresistible Personal Branding, the secret weapon for your business growth, expressly for professional service providers. Hi, I'm Nancy Fox, the Business Fox, and I'm going to be your workshop leader today. And I've got a lot of outstanding, relevant information to share with you. And I'm going to dive right in. And I want you to know that I'm going to be giving you some very, very specific, tangible information. I'm going to be sharing some great examples with you. And if you stick around to the very, very end, I've got some secret hacks to share with you and a special gift to share with you as well. So let's dive right in. My first question to you is, are you ready to stop fading into the background and stand head and shoulders above the competition? Because today we're talking about personal branding, which is distinct from your company brand. Your company brand has the logo, has all of the website information, has the colors and all of that. But personal branding is about you and who you are and what you stand for as it relates to your business. What people think about you when they think about you. Okay? That's what personal branding is all about. So who this workshop is for, let's take a look at that right now, because I want to make sure that you're in the right place. This workshop is for professionals in law, accounting, the finance world, consulting, and other service businesses who really want to boost and really catapult their visibility exponentially in order to grow their business with just the right clients. And it's for lawyers, accountants, and finance professionals who really face fierce competition in a business world that's gotten very, very noisy and very crowded and very competitive, especially on the #1 professional site and platform, LinkedIn. And it's also for highly skilled professionals whose current personal brand is maybe a little blah, it's gotten a little stale, and are really ready to pump life into it in order to build a flowing client pipeline. For professionals who want to pivot or even upgrade their personal brand. A lot of things have changed in the world in the last 18 months, right? And it's for highly motivated professionals who are sick and tired of watching other professionals get all the attention and the kudos and the clients and even choice employees, and are ready to turbocharge their recognition factor and the competitive edge in order to pull in and attract high quality business leads and the best talent. So what you're going to get to take away today, let's be really specific about it, is you're going to get 5 crucial ingredients of a magnetic, irresistible personal brand that attracts high quality clients, not just any clients, but your ideal clients, and gives you mega visibility and turbocharges your trust factor, because when you gain trust with the right potential clients, it's a shoo-in that they're going to want to work with you. That trust factor is crucial, and it establishes you as the go-to professional in your field. And you're going to be getting a 4-step blueprint for crafting a powerful personal brand, making it the most effective secret weapon that you can use in your business. And you're also going to get how to avoid the common pitfalls of crafting a personal brand and avoiding it being blah or meh or inauthentic, which is even worse, or even a copycat brand. And you're going to learn how to leverage LinkedIn with your new power personal brand, drawing in ideal connections, pulling them to you so that you don't have to fight to beg them to connect with you, and transforming them into sweet spot leads and clients. And you're also going to get a whole slew of case studies that I've really culled them just for you to show you what really works and what really doesn't work and where the opportunities really are. Sometimes I think that case studies are one of the best ways that we can learn how to do things better and how to avoid those terrible mistakes. So tell me, does this sound like you? Do you find that you and your business or your practice are fading into the background of dozens of other professionals and firms in your field, and you're not quite sure how to command the attention as the player of choice in your arena? Have you been frustrated trying to get your business noticed with all the online noise and competition on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and other social platforms? Do you find yourself posting regularly and maybe even all over the place, but you're still getting very few comments or likes or followers, and especially you're not getting those inbound connection requests from your target audience? Is that you? Are you perplexed by why other professionals with less expertise or skill or even experience are gaining a whole lot more attention and leads and clients? Would you like to be invited to speak and be on key panel discussions, but you're being passed over by the competition on a regular basis? Are you becoming overly dependent on referrals? And they're coming in sometimes, some months are good, some months not so good. Do you wish that you had a steady pipeline of inbound leads and requests for discovery calls with you with top quality prospects? And do you sometimes feel that you're like whispering in a well, no one can hear you, about the advantages of your services, and you find yourself sort of stumbling to communicate to potential clients why they should select you over the competition? And do you rely on your technical credentials and how many years of experience you have as your why you? Do you think that a personal brand maybe isn't really necessary because you have all this expertise? And finally, do you often resort to discounting or lowering your fees in order to convince potential clients about why they should select you to work with? Well, that's pretty common. You're not alone. But let me say this. If you're not memorable or visible, or you don't have a standout killer personal brand, you are destined to be experiencing that it's going to be a constant slog for new business. You're never going to build a continual pipeline or even be able to scale your business. And if you don't have that killer personal brand, you're just going to attract less than ideal clients. You're going to get fewer opportunities to speak or to lead or to participate on boards. And all of those things, well, are things that are so important if you want to elevate your client's attraction factor. And without a killer personal brand, you're just not going to be in demand. That's how powerful a personal brand is. And here's the thing. We all have a personal brand. It just may not be the brand that we want because people already have a perception of you and about you and your business. It's already in place. The question is, are you going to dictate the narrative around it, or are you going to let other people determine that? See, if you're indistinguishable without a personal brand, or your personal brand is just sort of you're going to be, according to one of my favorite colleagues, an attorney who really went to work on his personal brand. And in his own words, he said, if you don't have a great personal brand, you're going to be perpetually pummeled and pushed out of the way by the competition. And he went to work on his personal brand and really captured an entire segment, created a whole new market segment for himself. So today we're going to look at a 4-step irresistible personal brand blueprint. I'm going to give you the step-by-step of it. And you're going to get the 5 essential ingredients for how you can develop a killer personal brand. Not just any brand, but really a standout, a power brand. And if you miss any one of those ingredients, it's like a cake. If you miss a key ingredient, the cake's not going to rise. The cake's going to taste weird. It's not going to be good. It's going to be lumpy. It's going to fall flat. You got to have all 5 of these ingredients for your killer brand to work. And you're going to get all of them today. And I want to remind you that if you stick with me all the way to the end, which by the way, I've kept this very, very concise, so it's not that far off, I'm going to give you a very special gift, and I'm going to share with you a secret personal brand hack that nobody talks about. And you're going to thank me for it because it really can change the game for you completely. So stick with me, okay? And now might be a really good time for you to learn a little bit more about who I am and why you should even be listening to me when it comes to personal brand in the professional services. So as I said, my name is Nancy Fox and my business name is The Business Fox. And I'm all about high performance coaching for professionals. a little bit of my background. I'm a former corporate senior executive, and I was in charge of marketing and product development in the manufacturing sector for some pretty big companies and some smaller ones, some international ones and some national ones. And then in the year 2000, I jumped the corporate ship and I started my coaching and training business. And I began working with high achieving executives and professional services. So since then, I've had a really, really great run in working with some very, very top professionals, clients that included AM Law 100 firms, Big Five accounting firms, a lot of financial services firms, and I've helped hundreds of professionals advancing in their careers to partners and even leaders in their own firms. I work with some really big ones and some small firms, and helping them become the go-to firms and the go-to professionals in their specific arenas. I'm also the founder of Big Brand U for Professionals, which is a proven method for gaining recognition, magnetic distinction, and accelerated client attraction expressly for professionals. And I'm also a recognized author. I wrote a book on networking called Network Like a Fox, a little play on my last name there. And I've been a speaker at some amazing associations like the AICPA, the Association of Accounting Marketers, Legal Marketing Association, New York State Society of CPAs, and a whole bunch of State Society of CPAs, and including international associations like Moore Stevens, CP America. And I've been featured in a whole bunch of publications. So enough said about all of that and enough about me. And now let's talk about you. So let's dive into that 4-step irresistible personal brand blueprint. In this blueprint, I want you to know that I've simplified it for you, but it's extremely, extremely in-depth. So the first step to crafting an irresistible personal brand is you've got to be extremely clear about your audience. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy about to niche or not to niche, to specify or not to specify, to be a generalist or a specialist. And I want to tell you that after 20 years of working with professionals, there's no doubt that if you specify and target a very particular niche market, it's going to be easier and faster and more powerful for you to target a specific audience than to be a generalist, especially in today's marketplace. And the second step is for you to identify the problem and the outcome that you're going to address. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I mean by the problem and the outcome in a moment. The third step is the wordsmithing. And this is essential in developing a personal brand. And I'm going to explain exactly what I mean about wordsmithing in that branding. And finally, a very essential step that a lot of people want to actually step over. Don't do this. You want to make sure that you test with your audience and tweak and refine and hone. So let's take a look at the first step, which is identifying and specifying your audience. You want to be focused. Now, I'm not saying that you're only going to have one niche forever, but when you're developing and you really want to enhance a personal brand, you want to begin with your prime niche first. Focus, focus, focus. And then you can build from there. Then you can add on. Once you've tapped that world and you've owned it, you can build from there. Get very, very specific and then expand. It's just what Facebook did when they started with Ivy League colleges as their members and then eventually went to all colleges and then went to all people, all young people, and then older people, and then they went to Europe and they branched out from there. But at the beginning, it was extremely specific and it got traction. You want to get very, very, very clear on your ideal avatar client. The better you know, the better understanding you have of your ideal client, the clearer and the more powerful and the more magnetic and irresistible your personal brand will be. And the second step is to really focus on the problem and then the outcome in your branding. So when I talk about a problem, I'm not talking about just any problem. I'm talking about a super big headache, like a migraine. That's how important the problem has to be. It's got to be the kind of headache that is a must fix, a must eliminate, not just a nice to fix, because it won't have the power that a really, really big, gigantic migraine headache will be for the client, right? They're at a point when it's so big that it's just so critical for them to get it fixed. They're feeling the pain and they want it fixed yesterday. So think tangible outcomes, even if they're just the sub-goals or milestones to the ultimate outcome. The third step is wordsmithing. Now, the power of the word, especially the written word today, is so crucial. It's amazing how powerful it can be in establishing you and setting you above, head and shoulders above the crowd. So your words that you use in your personal branding must paint an emotional picture of how it's going to feel for your clients when the headache, that migraine, is gone. When you paint that emotional picture and they're feeling it, they're just drawn to you. They're glued to you. And you want to use the exact words that your target audience uses. So if you like the word powerful, but they're using the word killer, use their word. Don't use your word. You want to use their exact words that they use. If they use more professional sounding words, use the exact words that your target audience uses, not the ones you're choosing. If they use more slang, or if they're more informal, use their words. That's why it's really important to listen and to really watch for the words that they're using when they're describing their big headache. You want to be using unexpected, disarming, sometimes even alarming, and definitely distinctive or emotion-provoking words. Why? Because people are busy. Their attention span is so limited. They have no patience. They just click off in a heartbeat. They have no attention, so you've got to disarm them. You've got to stop them from scrolling. You've got to keep their attention. And you can't just use the same words that everybody else is using. You have to stop them dead in their tracks. And sometimes that means you've got to use alarming and disarming words. And sometimes you can use really great word tools like alliteration, so that the words capture people's attention and they become very memorable at the same time and easy for people to remember. You want to be using words that paint the picture. When people can see the outcome, when they can see who you are, when they can feel you, when they feel the visual of it, it's when they're glued to you. It's when they want to stick with you. It's when they're attracted. It's when you become irresistible. And finally, you want to use that audience test and tweaking step. And you don't want to omit this one. People sometimes get lazy and they don't do it, and they just like their personal brand and they go with it and they haven't tested it. And I'll give you an example of this. When I first rebranded into the Business Fox from a former brand that I was using, I did this very step, and I audience tested and I tweaked it. And people had all different kinds of opinions and feedback for me. And I was really glad that I knew it, because it was very helpful for me to really make that decision. I was able to hone it and tweak it, and eventually came out with the absolute perfect personal brand, the Business Fox. Now, I used polls. I ran that PB by my audience. I tweaked a little, but here was the most important thing. I knew that brand was right for me. It resonated right to my gut. I knew right away. And the same thing can happen for you. So I invite you, you're going to do the audience testing. Maybe you'll do some tweaking, but most importantly, you want to trust your intuition, because it's your personal brand. And that's the most important thing. You want people to see you and know you the way you want them to. It's a choice. You want to help dictate that for them. You want to actually create the narrative for yourself. Now let's move on to the 5 essential ingredients so we can bake that killer personal brand cake, right? The first one is authenticity. Now this is really where people they really make a big mistake. You know, we're all online a lot these days. And so let's say you have some competitors in your arena and you're scrolling around, you're looking at other people's websites and you're looking at their identification, at their personal brands, at what they're posting on LinkedIn, what they're using as their taglines, and you start to doubt your own view of yourself. You start to have those sort of concerns about, well, is my verbiage right, or is their verbiage right? Do I like theirs better than mine? Are they getting more hits with their words? Am I going to get the same success rate? And so we sometimes start to tweak and start to water down, and we start to dilute our own messaging. And it's not really authentic. It's not really you. Now you become someone else. It's really crucial for you to be yourself. Your personal brand is all about what comes from within you expressed outwardly. No one can be you. No one can be a competitor to you. That's why authenticity really sells. Authenticity will win the day 100% of the time. So avoid the copycat. It's really a pitfall. The second ingredient is relevance. So this is really all about really putting yourself in your potential client's shoes. You know, if you are marketing a particular kind of service and it's not really something that's crucial for them right now, it's not going to have relevance and it will not hit the bullseye. It'll be you trying to convince them about what your offer is all about. So relevance is so important, and understanding what's truly important to people takes a lot of research and a lot of testing and a lot of asking questions. And that's why I think really interviewing your audience, your ideal audience, is really so important, to really hearing their words and listening and not trying to lead the audience. You're trying to really hear what's really important to them, what's really relevant for them, what's top of mind for them, what's sitting on their shoulders and keeping them up at night. When it's all very relevant for them, if leadership is not relevant for them right now, but business development is, it's important to know that. If gaining the top talent, if gaining more talent into their organization with the right skills and the right mindset is really crucial for them over business development, that's important to know. You want to know what's most relevant for your ideal clients. Make sure that your personal brand is expressing a solution and an opportunity for your clients that's truly relevant for them. The third ingredient is make your personal brand arresting. Now, I use that word very carefully. I want you to arrest their attention. I want you to capture it. I want you to make them stop right then and there and pay attention to you and want to know more about you. And to do that, you have to arrest their attention, because it's going to be wandering. You've got to not just be a little interesting or a little intriguing or a little piquing of their interest. You've got to actually, people have so little attention span today, and they're getting bombarded with so much online information and even offline information, that you really need to start really looking at, are you arresting the attention and the interest of your ideal clients? That's an important ingredient. And you have to really weigh in, and the only way you're going to really find out how arresting it is by, again, going out there and testing and tweaking it, right? The fourth ingredient is the word paint. So maybe you don't think of yourself as an artist, and maybe you don't think of yourself as even a wordsmith, but we've got some great tools available to us these days. We've got Grammarly, we've got other tools, and I've just found some fantastic tools that will help you. There are online synonym creators and thesauruses where you can actually you can put your words in and get some other options. So painting the words are really, really important. And I want you to be thinking about not just how cool or how cute the words are, because cutesy doesn't often sell. You want to remember, I said that you want to be painting, using word paint that captures the emotions and is arresting with people. Capture their emotions, and you've captured their interest, and you've captured their attention. That's the key, because you want them connecting with you on a very deep, emotional, and really thought-provoking level. And the last ingredient is clarity of worth. So there was a wonderful, boy, this is a really old advertising campaign that L'Oreal did, a little more expensive hair care product and hair dye product. And what their tagline is, L'Oreal, because you're worth it. And it really drove home for the people buying this product or considering buying this product that, yes, I am worth it. And the feeling of the emotion of, yes, I'm worth it. It's the same thing with your personal brand. You have got to be demonstrating that you are clear about your worth and that they should get that. And you can give them ways of doing this in your wordsmithing and in the expression of your understanding, your resonance with that big painful problem that they have. The way you express all of these ingredients will be a very, very important stepping stone along the path to demonstrating that you understand the clarity of your worth with your potential clients. And when you're clear about it, they will get it. If you are not clear about the worth of your brand, they won't get it either. So it's got to rise from within you and be expressed outwardly. And it's an important step because the more you cultivate that and craft it, the more it's going to hit home, just like the arrow in the center of the target. Okay, so I've given you the 4-step process, the blueprint, and you've gotten the 5 ingredients that you know you must have for an irresistible personal brand. And now I want to share with you some really, really great case studies that will, especially, I've taken them from LinkedIn because it's the easiest way to show you. And also because LinkedIn is the single most important platform for professionals to use in demonstrating, in leveraging, in communicating their personal brands. There are many other ways to do it, of course. There are other platforms like Instagram and using a lot of different other resources, but LinkedIn is the most powerful one and prominent one. But I want you to think about LinkedIn as your second website. And in many cases, it's even your first website because the LinkedIn SEO power is already baked in for you. It's like free and it's right available for you. So you can use it to really just have your personal brand be megaphoned all over the universe, the professional universe. It's that powerful. So I want to use these case studies to show you how LinkedIn could be your personal brand opportunity, your tagline opportunity, and your new offer opportunity. All of them. So let's dive right into some really cool case studies. Now, in these case studies, I'm going to be sharing with you some great case studies, what they've done right, and also what they've missed out on, so you can see where the opportunities can be for you. So let's begin with Harry Nelson. And Harry Nelson is obviously front and forward. He's a healthcare attorney. So if you're in the healthcare arena, he's your guy, right? Right front and forward. But look at his entire, if you take a big sort of snapshot about this, Harry was very careful about using his entire LinkedIn profile, a microphone for his personal brand. His banner it's very powerful. He wants you to know that he is a known expert all over the media. He is a media hound and they love him. That's what he's featured, right? I'm all over the media. I am a celeb. That's basically what he's saying. He also is saying that he's a best-selling author of the book, The United States of Opioids. See how he's narrowed in to his area of expertise? He's a healthcare attorney, yes, but he's got a real, even more important specialization in opioids, which, as we know, is a hot button topic. So right away, Harry has, in a quick snapshot, you know exactly who he is. And by the way, if you're in the healthcare arena and you're looking for a healthcare attorney and you type in a search healthcare law, he's going to pop up. And he's going to be one of the key choices to pop up on your search. And I've highlighted this because I want you to see how he's used even his taglining. Where his name spot is available. He's used all of that space to feature his name and his area of expertise. And there are ways of doing this because there are a lot of characters available for you, even in the space on LinkedIn for your name. So he's done a really, really good job of demonstrating in a very quick snapshot who he is, what his personal brand is, and why, if you're in this arena, you should be reaching out to him first and foremost. Next up is quite a different look, right? Is Kirsten Toller. She's a CPA. Now look at what she did. Completely different. Instead of putting her personal photo, in that circle area where the traditional photo is, she put her branding in. She put her logo in there. And she used her personal photo in her banner. And if you look at her taglining for KMT Consulting, she calls herself a mindful relational accounting practice. So that's her personal branding, right? A mindful relational accounting practice. So what's good about that? Well, first of all, she's communicating that she's a human being, a human caring person, not just your typical bean counter CPA. She's all about what's mindful and caring and heartfelt and relationship building. That's what she's all about. And she's featured that. I'm going to come back to that in a moment. Her photo is very warm and inviting. And also, she's letting you know that this is in keeping with her personal brand. It all goes together, right? In her headline, she's talked about herself as a trusted advisor, passionate, again, an emotional word, using the passion, right? Passionate as an emotional word. She's painting the picture of passion, working with entrepreneurs. So she's designating who her ideal clients are. And her megaphone word, her power word is remarkable. That's the word that's arresting. She's using remarkable as a word to arrest your attention because she's tooting her own horn here, right? Very few CPAs do that. She's tooting her own horn. Now, what works really well is that all of this is going together to express who she is and why she's different than other CPAs. But what I would say is that whole tagline that she's got in her consulting in the banner where it says a mindful relational accounting practice, it's too small. No one can read it. I was hunting, so I saw it and I'm sharing it with you. But she would need to really expand that and make it larger so people could get the messaging of it. So she's missing an opportunity there. But all in all, you can see that her personal branding and her business are going hand in hand there. Okay, next up is Jessica Gordon, and she is a trust and estates attorney, right? Now, Jessica has a very pleasing, very pleasant profile saying what she does, right? If you want a trust and estates attorney, it's pretty clear that that is what Jessica does. But there's nothing about who Jessica is and why you should pick her, right? It's really sort of blah, very blah. It's very beige. It doesn't have any pop, any specificity to it. It doesn't give any unique value proposition. Doesn't have relevance. It doesn't have anything that's arresting. She's used a photo of a family. We're not sure if it's her family or if she wants to attract family. It's very vague. It's very misty. It doesn't have a lot of power, and there aren't any, she's not painting any kind of a picture at all. So we know what she does, but we have very little idea other than the fact that Jessica is very pleasant, and to some she might be appealing. We don't have any feel for why her, right? There's no indication. A lot of work could be done. She's missing a huge opportunity here. And here's Sherry Wallen. Now, Sherry Wallen, her tagline is really great. The strategic CPA. How many CPAs do we think of as being strategic? We think of them as being very logical, very accurate. We don't think of them as strategic. So she was very good about picking that as a tagline for her business. But that's about it. The rest of it is sort of empty. The entire banner is empty. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't communicate anything. Very few of the 5 ingredients are included on her LinkedIn profile. And therefore, her LinkedIn profile, which could be a huge magnet for more clients, more ideal clients, she's missing a huge opportunity. She's leaving a lot of chips on the table. She's leaving a lot of business on the table that she could be. She's not making her personal brand work for her, and she's definitely not making LinkedIn work for her at all. Okay, let's take a look at Brian Carpenter. He's the craft beer CPA. Pretty cool. Now, I don't know about you, but I have not ever heard of a craft beer CPA. So he's pretty distinct, and he knows it, right? He knows it. Look at how he featured this. He created his little tagline of the craft beer CPA. He included it right in the section where his name is, which is in bold, and that's what pops up every time he posts. What's in bold is what you get to see front and forward. That's the very first thing you see. So if you're in the craft beer arena, he's your guy, right? He would absolutely be your guy. And his banner expresses, look at the emotion his banner expresses. Great end of the day, looking into the sunset, just relaxing with that great beer. And what a great way to end the day. I mean, all of that emotion and great experiential factor is there. And that's not what you think of when you think of a CPA. He's a fun guy. He's a guy who's going to let you have fun. He's going to help you grow your craft beer business. And he's also he's really narrowed in to a great niche. And he loves this niche. And you can see that he does, and he knows this niche. And he said, there's right in his headline, he's saying what he does, which is audit and compilation and reviews. He does domestic and international tax. Very good. He's advisory services. And there now he's expressing a lot about who he is as a person. If I can't help you, I'll find someone who can. So he's letting you know that he's not just out to get, take. He'll help you too. He cares about making a difference. And he's expressed all of this in the first few seconds of his LinkedIn profile, expressing a killer personal brand. Brian did a great job with his personal brand. And Chase Berkey, also a CPA, did a really, really interesting job with his personal brand. First of all, the first thing you notice about Chase Berkey, who, by the way, is the founder of Dark Horse CPAs, is he's not looking like the typical professional, right? He's got the baseball cap and he's got the t-shirt. He looks like a renegade he looks like a rebel, right? He's definitely not playing the typical CPA professional suit and tie game. He's not going there at all. He is different. Right away, in his very photo, he has expressed to you, I'm not your grandmother's Oldsmobile. I'm not your typical CPA. I am different. He named his business Dark Horse CPAs, which is already a whole other way of identifying your business. Yes, they're certified public accountants, but that name tells a very, very important story in the messaging. There's an emotional component to it. He's painting a picture, even in his company name. And then his tagline, a better way to CPA. Memorable. See? It sort of has rolls right off your tongue. It doesn't have alliteration. It has a rhyme to it. And then right in his banner, he's listed all the things that his firm does differently for the talent that his main thing is bringing in the right talent. He is using his banner to say, if you are a CPA, come and talk to us. If you don't like the way the system has worked so far, come and talk to us. If you are just beginning to build your business, come and talk to us. We've got something important for you. If you've already got a book of business, we're going to help you grow it even better. So he's really expressed this right in his banner, right in his business name, right in his photo. His personal brand is very, very well expressed. The feeling of it is very, very present and very powerful and memorable. And in his about section, which, by the way, I haven't covered a lot about the about section because most people, unless they're really interested in the first header part of your profile, they're not even getting to the about part. But I highlighted this because I wanted you to see what Chase said about himself. He said, and this is part of his personal brand, I am out to change the public accounting industry as we know it. I mean, there's nothing unclear. It's not foggy. It's not misty. It's not uncertain. And you know exactly who he's speaking to. He's speaking to the people, the professionals in the field that he wants to attract into his business. And he's talking to people, business owners who he wants to work with him as clients. It's very, very clear. Did a pretty darn good job of his personal branding, right? Now, Myrnie is a financial advisor, and she also has an insurance agency. And if you notice her personal branding, she starts right away using color, logoing, taglining, and matching it to her photo. It's all part of the branding. She's giving you that red and that white is all about expressing the emotion of one thing, power. She's seriously out there. She is serious about building a business. Her photo is very inviting and smiley and very warm and inviting, but she's a serious business owner. That red, it wasn't accidental that what she's wearing is red and that her color and her brand colors are red. It's really, and her logo is a very powerful logo, right? And she's put it right in her banner. She's also given 3 different areas of focus in her banner. These are 3 different programs that she runs, and so she's featured them in her banner. The good news about that is now we know that there are 3 things that she covers, but we don't really know what they are. So I think her brand, her banner could be a little bit more expressive, but what she really focuses on in her headlining is she is a financial educator at how money works. That's what she's featuring. She doesn't call herself a financial advisor. She doesn't call herself a wealth manager. She doesn't call herself an insurance broker. She calls herself a financial educator for her program, her main program, and then here she's gotten very specific, how money works. And if you dig a little deeper, what she's really trying to do is to attract more people into her client base through how money works, working with business owners, teaching them about how money works, and that's her vehicle for getting people into discovery calls with her. And it's also there because she wants to attract new people onto her team. So her entire brand is all focused on not being the typical wealth manager or financial advisor. That's not what she's doing. She has set herself apart as a financial educator. And Laura's got a really fascinating personal brand. Laura is a commercial contracts attorney. Now, what she features in her headline, I'm going to talk about her banner in a second, but she comes out of Big Law and Tesla. Those are sexy to people who want to work with a lawyer. Coming out of Big Law and out of a company that's as highly recognized as Tesla is a magnet. So she's using an emotional component there to draw people in. She knows that people resonate and they find sexy companies appealing, so she's used that in her headline. And if we look at her banner, it's fascinating. She has successfully helped you see that she does 2 things. One, she has a law practice. It's a boutique law firm which does vendor contracts, and that's the Laura Frederick Law part. Clear. She's a boutique law firm. And on the other side, she has developed an entire training program for other lawyers on how to contract. And she's very clear in her banner. She's made it very simple for you to understand. We help with contracts by drafting and negotiating them for you. It's done for you on the lawyer side of it, or training you how. Contact me to find out more. So she even has a call to action in her banner. Look how simple it is. She's got the coloration. That's really she's done 2 different colors that are complementary. She's made her verbiage extremely simple, but very memorable. How to contract. Easy, right? And it's been extreme. And she's even used Laura Frederick Law alliteration to make it memorable for the law practice side. She's done a fantastic job with her personal branding. And if you look and see, she's already attracted over 20,000 followers in a very, very short amount of time. And she's using LinkedIn to be her main magnet to attract the right people into her law practice and into her contract training business. And Flo Nicholas did something very similar. Now, Flo is actually now working with Laura on the contract tech side of things. So she's actually a strategic partner with Laura on the how to contract side. But look at now Flo came out of the corporate world, and she's been building her LinkedIn personal brand. Here's her tagline: revolutionizing the old school legal tech industry. And it's amazing, just so simple. She's really all about making a powerful revolution in changing the old guard to the new guard. She also calls herself, she's really hashtagged this, the non-boring lawyer, which I think is really cool. And she's tooted her own horn by saying she's the contract tech queen and used a little logo to express that. So she's done a very, very nice job. Also, very powerful, very simple in identifying her personal brand on LinkedIn. Okay, so I promised that I would give you a secret hack to boosting your personal brand on LinkedIn. And here it is. The secret hack is in the banner. Now, it's not just what you include on your banner. The key is using it as your billboard on a regular basis to keep people coming back and finding out what's new with you, and keep coming back to look at your profile, and keep coming back wanting to find out what you're up to. So here's my previous banner, right? This was my previous banner featuring my book. I'm talking about professional service firms, helping them with practice growth and attaining ideal connections and appointments and clients in less time. That's my value proposition, right? I'm featuring my book. Here's what I've changed it to. I wanted you to come to this personal brand workshop, right? I changed my banner. Ignite your personal brand on LinkedIn. Start generating top quality leads, all through personal branding. Come to the personal brand workshop. And what I've instructed, the call to action, is click on the link in the featured section to get instant access. And so right away, you know that that's what's new. The secret hack is to feature your news and your current offers right in your profile banner. And here's the secret hack. Change it every month to freshen up your business, your personal brand, and pique your audience interest. And remember, your profile on LinkedIn is like your second website. LinkedIn's going to do all the SEO generation work for you. Don't miss the opportunity. People think that they've done their personal brand once and done on their banner. No, you're missing out on a huge opportunity for generating additional leads, interest, connections, ideal connections. Keep changing up your banner on LinkedIn, and you're going to elevate your personal brand and ignite it and set it on fire. And here's the thing, the proof is always in the pudding. Here's just a few of my clients that I've worked on with their personal brands and their professional services business. Rochelle Odesser came to me as your standard financial advisor, and now is the money and power coach. And she actually was able to escalate her business by 15% in 6 months. That's just in 6 months in a lackluster market. And Ron Drescher, working on his personal brand on social media, he let me know that he was able to pay for all of the coaching in that very first session. And that's because he really didn't know what he didn't know about his personal brand and about social media and how to use that and leverage it on social media, especially on LinkedIn. Isabella Guevara, who came to me as now she's the restaurant bookkeeping mentor to all the successful restaurateurs in New York and beyond. And Annabella Bonfa, trade secret attorney, leveraged her personal brand as the trade secret attorney and broadcasted throughout the entire Rotary community. And Miklos Ringbauer, he started out as a CPA in a traditional firm, went off on his own, and really took his entire accounting is awesome personal brand, brought it to the Cal CPA, and became a leader in that association, all of which catapulted his business. So now he's got more business than he knows what to do with. So today, what I gave you, as I promised, is I gave you the 5 crucial ingredients of a magnetic, irresistible personal brand that attracts high-quality clients and gives you this immense visibility and being the go-to professional in your field. And I gave you the 4-step blueprint for crafting a killer personal brand, making you be having you learn how to use it as a secret weapon in your business, and how to avoid those common pitfalls of a blah, inauthentic, or copycat personal brand. And most importantly, how to leverage it on LinkedIn with this new power that you have so that you draw in, that you're being the magnet for your ideal connection. You don't have to beg people to connect with you, and you're transforming them into your sweet spot leads and clients. I'm really glad that you stuck with me to this point, because I've got something incredibly important for you, because none of this means anything unless your personal brand is really doing all the work for you that it should and could. So I ask you now, do you really think that your personal brand as it is now, if you've worked on it at all, does it pass the smell test? Does it pass the magnetic power test? And how do you know? Is it doing all it could for you? Well, if you're not 100% sure, or if you have an inkling that it really could be doing a whole lot more for you, or you want it to, it's now time for you to shine a light on your personal brand blind spots. And I know we all have them. Listen, we can't assess our own personal brand. It's hard. We're not objective about it. So I'm offering my gift to you. My gift to you is to give you completely on my own dime, a complimentary personal brand audit. And we're going to go through this together. I'm going to look at your personal brand. We're going to discuss it with you in a private one-on-one session. It's about 45 minutes. I'm going to take a look at all your personal branding on LinkedIn and beyond, and we're going to do a complete audit of it. And you're going to walk away knowing, have you really followed the 4 steps in the blueprint that you should? Do you have all 5 ingredients? If not, where are you missing? And what you need to do to get your personal brand powerful, magnetic, and absolutely irresistible with your ideal clients. And so now, guys, we've come to the end of today's presentation. I invite you to go to https://thebusinessfox.as.me/PB audit and book that time. I'm going to get on the phone with you. It's going to be the most enlightening session about your personal branding that you've ever had, and it's completely complimentary. So